Okay? I wouldn't throw the ball on time either. I don't believe A.J. Brown's dropping passes on purpose. I do not. Okay? Smoke. Yeah, I don't believe that. The only way Goddard returns is if his wife doesn't want to relocate. Agreed. Kyle says, Sills, appreciate the super, Kyle. Thank you. Sills, let's say for shits and giggles, we trade AJ to the Patriots for a 1. You get your wideout or O-line with the first pick and then trade back to get other positions. Okay? I'm in there. I could be in there for that. Yeah, we don't need to move off of AJ. It's just a matter if he wants to be here or not. I feel his message is getting a little bit convoluted, but I think it's also getting a little bit tiring. He didn't help himself by leaving immediately after the game. You're talking about him being in the locker room when he left. You want to know who did drop passes on purpose? That Jerry Judas Judy. How he tried to screw Sanders on the Browns for the Danny Loser boy coach Stefanski. How does dropping passes help you if you're going to become a free agent, though? I always dismiss that. Why would I? I'm hurting myself. Okay? Sills, listen, here, let me say this to you about the spread. Yes, Mr. Hill, you've got to be a guy that you're throwing to a spot. You're counting on the receiver to turn in the balls there. Hurts throws with a tail. He doesn't do that. That's why he's late on throws. And they're back shoulder throws. And the receiver has to slow down. He doesn't throw with anticipation of the guy breaking and the ball's there. Watch Brady throw the football and then watch Hurts throw the football. Okay, Brady, let's take that out because that's an outlier. Tom Brady, guys like Mahomes. Watch Kirk Cousins. Watch Phillip Rivers. Boom, cut, ball's there. You don't have to have a strong arm. Peyton Manning never had the strongest arm on the planet. He never had the strongest arm, but he threw with anticipation. Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, bam. Peyton Manning understood defenses, pre-snap reads. Still agree or disagree with this? AJ is so set on leaving, redo the deal, and we will trade. I think you mentioned it, which allows us to keep our core. If he wants out, what I would do, okay, I'd restructure my deal. I'm not looking to take less money, but you got to make it so that it's convenient for the Eagles to be able to move you to a team you want to go to. If you just go like this, I want fucking out of here. They're going to send you to the Titans. They're going to send you to the Jets. Why? The Eagles want to get high picks. If you're going to get a 2, I want a high 2. I'm not going to send you to the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be low 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever. And that team still has to take on the dough. I'd be less apt to make that deal. So you've got to make it this way. You got to go like this. And you got to say shit like this. Okay, look, I'll restructure the contract, lower my base. Okay? Lower the base. I don't know how you have to restructure the contract. He's making 30, and you're not going to get a 1 for him unless it's a late one. Why is Jalen not working on his game? He needs to get with the coach and get there halfway. How do you know he's not? I don't know he's not doing that. At the Pro Bowl, Jalen said he would want a spread in the red zone instead of tush push. Why would Jalen Hurts be talking about a spread offense when he's never run one? He's going to run something he's never run in year 7? You know what's funny? Name me one of the elite quarterbacks that runs a completely different offense from his. Matthew Stafford ran a spread offense in Detroit, runs a spread offense in Los Angeles. Mahomes runs a spread offense. They're not changing that, even if Andy Reid leaves. They're not doing any of that shit. Hurts is going to go completely different, and they're going to turn the thing inside. I've never heard of this. Okay? Well, Hurts was not training with the wide receivers and tight ends last season. Is there any quarterbacks in Philly? I remember the comment. I do. I remember the comment. Vic isn't elite, though. Michael Vick wasn't an elite quarterback. He was an elite talent. What is your biggest thing about Jalen Hurts that you think that you like and don't like? Okay? I like this. I think Jalen Hurts is a winner, but Jalen Hurts also may be physically limited at some things. We've seen he can throw over the middle. I've never seen Jalen Hurts really consistently throw over the middle. What do I like about Hurts? I like this question, Shane. When I say this doesn't mean he can read defenses. I think Jalen Hurts sees the game well. I think he's smart in game. I think he knows when to get down, when to slide. I think he knows not to make mistakes, even though I hate the sacks. I think he's a smart ball player. I think that smart makes him a winner. I think he's a smart dude. Look, I don't care about the off-color stuff. His personality's not quite what I would want in my quarterback. I don't think he's vocal enough. But I do think there's a lot of things you like about the kid. He's a winner. He's tough. Yeah. So the thing I hate about him, and I don't really hate, it's just the style of quarterback. He can't read defenses. He's not very good in the pocket. He takes sacks, and he never throws on time. And get this, with all those limitations, he somehow figures it out. That's why it's not consistent. All those limitations is the reason he's not consistent, because he's really not good at anything when it comes to throwing from the pocket. I mean, people go like this. He's got a big arm. So what? Big arms don't win. Smart football with the ball, being able to spread the ball around, anticipation throws, all of that shit. Check downs. It's funny. The shorter the pass, the more success you have. Not the deeper the pass. So when people go, he throws the best deep pass. Well, Brady never did. I think Allen struggles with a bad roster and his impatience. Is it fair to say it Hurts took less sacks by 20 to 25? You would think he would be better. Or would you see more throwaways? I don't mind the throwaways. Throwaways a good play. Hey, get this, Messiah. Punting is not a bad thing. Punting is field position. The punt is a good play. It's not a bad play. Now, 3 and outs, not winning on first and second down, becoming repetitive at that, you're not going to have a very good offense. However, punts are not bad. Why? It changes field position. So it's not that shitty. You know what I'm saying? It's not that shitty. So, I mean, I'm good with it. So, hey, just remember that. Punting is a good thing. It's not an awful thing. All right, let's see what's going on here. Is the chat doing well? I mean, we all right here with that? Seems to be. Allen and Hurts are a lot alike. No, they're not. They're nothing alike. Allen is more risk taker, more reckless, better arm. That's not an awful take. Yeah, I'm with you. See, I don't know what the hell that is. Hurts is that you feel like you always have a chance to win when he's in there. Given Jalen the league leading rusher, and he'll win a Super Bowl. Well, dude, why am I paying you $50 million? That's, by the way, you think Seattle's going to struggle? Guess who's a free agent, guys? Does anybody know who a free agent is on that Seattle team? You guys have an idea who's a free agent coming up in a couple weeks? Guess who's a free agent? And a guy I surely would love to have in Philly. Guess who the free agent is? You got it. Kenneth Walker is going to be a free agent. A Super Bowl MVP. I mean, how much are they going to pay that guy? You're going to give Darnold a raise, right? How much you paying him? What do you have, 160 yards, 135 yards in rushing? Seals, have you heard heard the take by ESP? If Hurts requests an extension and the Eagles decline at this time, he should demand a trade. I think it's a long shot. Jalen asked for one right now. I think if Jalen Hurts asks for I think if the agent, Nicole Lynn, asks for a contract extension, I think the Eagles would punt that. Nah, we're not interested. Why would you be interested with a brand new system, a new OC, a new quarterback coach, a new offensive line strategy, a new offensive pass game strategy, and you're going to give the quarterback, who you're not sure can do any of this, a contract extension? All this negativity about Hurts, he had 68% win percentage, all the Pro Bowls, MVP. The dude must be one hell of a con artist. Hey, Big Ed, why are they changing the offense completely then? Why are they changing the offense then completely? Why'd they fire all the offensive coaches? Any idea? Why did they? You have a super team? You got beat by the 49ers with the JV team. I feel Jalen Hurts is better than Josh Allen. Will you be stupid? Yeah, but Sills, if Lamar gets a new deal this year, if I'm Jalen, I'm looking around like, where's my money? Do you really think that Jalen Hurts is in the same conversation with Lamar Jackson as an athlete and as a quarterback? Or do you think he's in a better situation than Lamar? Now, I will say this. Baltimore's not a bad situation. And he has not taken advantage of it. But he's a better player. A two-time MVP. He's a better football player. However, Jalen takes advantage of his situation better than what Lamar has. Okay? Jalen is not a better player than Lamar. Jalen does take better he takes more advantage of the surroundings around him than what Lamar does. He's not a better dude. Nobody on the planet would take Lamar. Only Philly people would do that. If you ask the Eagles, would you rather have Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts? They're going to take Lamar. He's a 4,000-yard passer, a 30-yard TD guy, and he's a two-time MVP. And he's more consistent than Hurts has ever been when it plays in style of play that they're looking to play. How about this? Outside of 22, has Jalen Hurts ever played with the consistency on a week-to-week basis that Lamar Jackson has? Yes or no? Has he? Has he played with more consistency? Anybody? He has? What year was that? What year was that? Here's Lamar Jackson. My God. He's never even remotely done anything near what this guy's done. Okay, Lamar Jackson is 76-31 as a quarterback in 8 years of play. He has thrown for 36 touchdowns in his first full year starting, and he won the Most Valuable Player award. That year, he threw for 3,200 yards, 36 touchdowns, and he ran that year for what? 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. What? I mean, in 24, he threw for 4,100 yards, 41 TD passes, 4 interceptions, won his second MVP. I didn't realize that Lamar Jackson's got 3 MVP awards. Excuse me. The AP. MVP's got 2. AP's got 3. I didn't realize that. This guy's thrown. How many people think Jalen Hurts will ever throw for 41 touchdowns and 4 picks? Sam Darnold's got a Super Bowl. Sam Darnold and Jalen, same way. Sam Darnold, Jalen Hurts, both got Super Bowls. Seals, if Lamar is on Philly, does he outplay Mahomes twice? I think Lamar Jackson needs a coach like Andy Reid. Maniac, 41 touchdowns and 4 picks. You think Hurts will ever, with this new offense, ever be in that conversation? Fuck no. And he threw the ball 474. How many yards rushing did he have that year, too? He had 41 TD passes that season. How many rushing did he have? He had 915 yards rushing and 41 touchdowns passing and 915 yards rushing. 4,100 yards throwing the ball. Come on, man. Sills, Hurts has a Super Bowl win with an MVP. Dude, I told you this before. It's tougher to win the MVP award in the regular season than a Super Bowl MVP. 6 months of football versus 60 minutes. You tell me, Big Mike, what's tougher to do? 6 months of consistent football or 60 minutes of football? Only stat that I'm concerned with is his rushing. The rest will work. I don't believe the rest will work itself out. You do? I don't. I don't believe Ike's going to be able to run this offense. We'll see. This may be a worse take than the 24 year. Every other year we were right. But my 24 season, I was wrong. This may go down that lane, but I don't believe so. Hey, Bob, let me ask you something. Bob, do you believe Jalen Hurts is going to run this new offense? Do you? Just checking. I don't either. There's a slight chance, I won't lie, Sills. I believe it depends on how much they go there, right, Abe? Abe, I'm not rooting against them. Don't kid yourself. Covering Jalen Hurts has been a great thing for me. I'm not rooting against them. That's not true. I am not. You've never heard me say bench him or get rid of him. Okay? Abe, you've never heard me say that. My point, 26 will be tougher if it was an outlier season. Mahomes, Jackson, Burrow, along with Allen, will be back into the playoffs. I believe a little bit of what Jason Cole said. Okay, so here's Shane. I have confidence that my quarterback will win a Super Bowl next year and get my team to 3 rings. I will always be thankful for Jalen Hurts. He plays his best in the Super Bowl. Both his best games have been in Super Bowls. Okay? Shane, not shitting on you for that. I'm not shitting on you for that take. Absolutely no way. No way would I do that. Okay? Not happening. Sills, I get it. You didn't think he could do it. The only reason that he did do it is because you guys had the greatest running game in the history of pro football, and you guys ran yourself to the Super Bowl. He played great in the NFC title, and he played great in the Super Bowl. Other than that, it was all Barkley. Okay? He was never Jalen Hurts in 24 was not going to lead the team to the Super Bowl. After 4 games, they went with Barkley, not Hurts. Doubting the kid? Dude, that was smoke and mirrors. He was never going to go week to week leading you. He was never going to do that. Barkley was the guy who gained $2,000, 2,700 rushing yards. He got to the NFC title game. He played really. Jalen Hurts, in my opinion, in games that matter, there's no doubt. NFC title game. The first NFC title game, he didn't do shit in that against the 49ers. He was great in that Super Bowl that year that you lost. I thought he was okay in the Super Bowl. He was a little better than Sam Darnold. You think Jalen had a great Super Bowl? I don't. I thought he was okay. The Super Bowl 22, he was great. I thought he was great in the Super Bowl. In the 22 Super Bowl, he was great. The 24, I thought he was okay. I thought the defense was better. So has the MVP award always been an individual stat award rather than a team combination award? Isn't the V value to the team overall? Well, here, I think the MVP in my book means the most valuable person to your team. I'll ask you guys this question. Who was the most valuable person to your team in the 2024 Super Bowl? See, you're lying, bro, okay? I'll ask you this, folks. Who was the most valuable person to the 2024 team? Hurts or Barkley? Hurts or Barkley? No. Hurts or Barkley? Who was the most valuable person as a player to the team in 24? Jalen Hurts or Saquon Barkley? Barkley. Was it Hurts? Hurts played great in the game. And it wasn't great that year like that. 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns. He wasn't great. Again, a Jalenite. Clearly Hurts, Jalenite. He thought 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns led that team to the Super Bowl. The fucking stupid take. MVP is the player the team cannot survive without. Hey, Mikey, you think you could have survived 24 without Barkley? Hurts did nothing in that 24 Super Bowl that a mid-level quarterback couldn't do. Rasputin, I completely agree. Now, the 22 game, he was great in. He was great in that game. Can't take that away from him. Can't take the 24 Super Bowl away from him either. That's not what I'm doing here. You could say it's Hurts without Hurts. Saquon would have done it. The threat of Hurts enabled Saquon. Bro, the threat of A.J. Brown being out there, they had no passing game. They were 28th. You're out of your mind, Gabe, if you think that team was led by Jalen Hurts in 24. Jesus criminy. Jeff Stoutland got fired because Barkley couldn't get going in 25. Not because Jalen couldn't get the offense going. He got fired because Barkley couldn't get going. Okay? That's a great call, Mikey. Sills, what are the chances of signing Phillips? 30%. 30%. Tennessee's going to make a strong play for him. He's probably going to get $22 million a year from them. Blake would have been MVP easily if this TD wasn't taken by the tush pushes. That's why they never put him in his contract when he came to Philly too, by the way. A mid-level quarterback is not putting up 300 yards of offense. Let's see here. I saw Sam Darnold put up 300 yards in offense in the NFC title game. He's mid-level. Here, I saw Sam Darnold. I saw Nick Foles. He's mid-level. I saw him put up 500 yards in offense. Sills was literally calling Barkley washed up when we signed him, as everyone else was. And by the way, how'd that one-year wonder work out? Got your Super Bowl. There were people in here like M. Reyes telling me they were going to go back-to-back $2,000. I made a prediction and said he'd never get over 1,400 yards. Shit, he didn't even get over 1,100 yards. See, you're hating on Hurts. He knows how to produce. I'm not hating on anybody. Dude, I look at the game, and if you think that's hate, I don't have an animosity towards one football player. That's not how I talk. If you take it that way, you're like A.J. Brown. You're soft. You're soft. So it's a system we believe that is the team will run because we don't know yet. Well, I'll tell you what, Bob. If they do anything else with the new hires, you let me know why they fired Stoutland then. Okay? Focus on Jalen's weaknesses, footwork, reading. Dude, we're in year 7 now, Bob. Bob, we're in year 7. Hey, Sue, it's because I allow it. If that's your quote going to be, go. I see Patrick Mahomes shit the bed and have his worst games in Super Bowl. Look at his stats. And look who's on Patrick Mahomes' teams. Juju Smith-Schuster. In today's NFL, 300 yards for a quarterback is almost minimum. Yeah, well, Hurts is a coach's kid. I don't care about that shit anymore. I just know the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl next year with a more modern NFL offense built to Jalen's strengths. So, Shane, you think a spread offense is built to Jalen's strengths? All right. Let me get to, we're going to get Howard Balzer at the bottom. Big Z will join us at 4:30. All right. I've got some questions for everyone. We do this all the time. Question marks heading into the offseason. Okay? You're finding excuses for everyone else. Excuses? Like what? How many people in here think that Josh Allen plays on the same talented roster that Jalen Hurts plays on? How many people believe that? I'll show you what he's trying to say. Let excuses. Let's go with facts. Does anybody here believe the Buffalo Bills have the same roster that Jalen Hurts has? Yes or no? Okay. So that's not an excuse. Okay? In the Super Bowl, 300 yards, 3 TDs. It's more than okay. Okay, congratulations to you. Last 2 Super Bowls. Okay. So Josh Allen doesn't play on a roster that's nowhere near Jalen Hurts. Here's the second one. Who's a better quarterback in the pocket? Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen? Come on, Dan. The man only played 3 quarters. Kibo, see? Here's the Jalenite. He thinks the Buffalo Bills roster is the same talent that the Philadelphia Eagles has. Okay. Josh Allen's a better quarterback in the pocket. Who's a better runner? Josh Allen. Okay. Who's not missed a game in 7 years? Josh Allen. Guy played even with a broken foot in the AFC title game. I mean, they win because of him, not because of that team. And to Prince's point, that's not an excuse. That's facts. It's not an excuse. He's looking for excuses and alibis. Okay? Really? When in the last 3 years did the Buffalo Bills have a better roster than the Philadelphia Eagles? When exactly did they have a bad roster compared to the Eagles? When did Kibo, when did the Bills have a better roster? In the entire Josh Allen era, when have they had a better roster than Philly? When? Can you tell me? Hold on. This is the point we're making. Again, we move on. He got a few. It's because he's an idiot. Don't talk about Silsbo. He's going to crash out worse than Hogan. Twiz, you mean like your Eagle team did against the Niners? Hurts Island is no joke. A lot of Jalen syrup to go around. Boy, I'll tell you. All right. So here's my questions. Heading into the offseason, okay? Hurts, how do you think he meshes with Sean Mannion and Josh Grizzard? How do you think that will work? with those three guys. I asked you this question last year. I went back and looked at some of the topics. The first question I asked you guys, how do you think Jalen Hurts and Kevin Petula would go? You know what M. Reyes said? I got it written down. Seamless transition. Okay? So I'll give you a shot at it again and ask you the same questions. How do you think Jalen Hurts and Sean Mannion and Josh Grizzard, how do you think that meshes? How do you think it goes? Okay? How do you think it goes? Sills, I think it's to be determined. This doesn't seem like this is going to be Nick's prevent offense. Okay. Jalen, he's only because, hey, Mikey, I got it. Here. Seamless transition, redo. M. Reyes thought that Jalen Hurts and Kevin Petula had a seamless transition. He thought that was a good relationship. M. Reyes liked Kevin Petula as a coordinator. Okay. All depends on AJ Sills. He's the equalizer for the most part. They go away from the RPO, and it's like taking sugar out of the Kool-Aid. Reyes injecting himself with Jalen virus. Okay. Let's go to this one. What are the Eagles going to do with A.J. Brown, and how will they use him in this offense? What will the impact be? What will the impact be? Let me see here. I got to read this other one here that I wrote down. Let's see here. Yeah, here. I got one more. Okay, good. What will the impact be? Seals, is Sal Palantonio possible to get on? I love that guy. We'll try to get him on. We've had him before, I believe. Okay. How will they use A.J. Brown in this new offense? If he stays, how will they use him? Anyone? All right. Here's another one. What is the impact? Instead of Jalen Hurts, what's the impact that Sean Mannion will have on Saquon Barkley? What impact will he have on Barkley? Told Z on a post game, AJ's mentally checked out. Kelsey spoke a while ago. This has been going on since 23. Brought Bryard and Julio in 10-23 to pacify him. I told you this. By the way, they're looking to draft a quarterback at 2 and 3. Kim, pretty good take there. Appreciate you. What do you think that Sean Mannion's impact has on Barkley, if any? More outside runs, I think Mannion will bring in. Put Barkley in space. Tackles are your best in the offensive line right now. He will have Barkley near 2024 Barkley. He'll be an MVP again. And Hurts running more. Well, wait a minute. Then why are you firing? Wait a minute, Shane. Then why are you firing Jeff Stoutland if you're going to run more? Barkley's going to run less, dude. Do you think they're coming in to revamp the run game or the pass game? I don't think you know what you're talking about here, Shane. So you think Barkley's going to get back to 2024? That's 350 carries. And you think Jalen's going to run more? That's 150 carries. You're talking 500 carries. I thought this dude was brought in to change the offense in the pass game. I mean, that doesn't make sense. Dude, Hurts is going to run less. Maybe Jalen will finally throw a check down to Barkley. That would be incredible. He starts throwing checkdowns to Barkley. That's going to open up the passing game. Dude, they have no screen game whatsoever. That's zero. They have 5-yard outs. Boom, boom, boom. That's what they have. They have 5-yard outs. All right. Guys, Big Z's going to join us. That will be at 4:30 Eastern time. I got to tell you, we've been very fortunate over the last 3 days to get some Hall of Fame voters on the programs. I talked to Armando Salguero. Right after the Super Bowl, we talked to Jason Cole. And Jason was talking about the Super Bowl. We're going to go all over this with Howard Balzer here because I'll tell you what, the last couple weeks here, I think unfairly, and I know a lot of folks over at the Hall of Fame. They follow me on Twitter. I've known them all the way back to David Baker. Of course, my uncle's in the Hall of Fame. And I talk to these folks, and I think it's very unfair that these voters, again, are being attacked over the last. Listen, how many times has Howard Balzer and Jason Cole and Armando told you, look, dudes, I got 3 votes. You want me to vote for 3 guys with 3 votes, and I happen to agree with this sentiment. I don't believe owners belong in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, first and foremost. I believe coaches and players do. I'm sorry, I don't. I get contribution. You could put them in a category like you do with the radio and TV guys for like the Roselle Award, I think it's called. But, dude, players and coaches supersede everybody, in my opinion. They supersede everyone. I mean, a player or a coach, me, I'm putting the player in. I'm not putting the coach in. As great as Don Shula, as great as Bill Belichick, at the end of the day, I'm going player, dude. I played against Roger Craig. I text Roger Craig. Congratulations, dude. I think it's long overdue. I mean, you're only the 3rd guy off those 49er teams that won 5 Super Bowls. You're only the 3rd guy offensively. It's insane. Those teams dominated. I played against those teams. They were like insane. Their second, that 84 49er team with the backups, that's one of the best football teams I've ever seen.